Our object film is to try to give you some idea of the many processes which are necessary in the production of card clothing. It might be more accurate to describe these processes as separate trades: the drawing of steel card wire, the tanning, currying and preparation of leather, cloth weaving, the preparation of card cloth foundation, which includes rubber manufacturing, supplementary work of various kinds, and also the construction of machinery and machine parts. These processes lead to the actual manufacture of all kinds of card clothing of the high standard required by those who use our products.
We start with the manufacture of steel card wire. The first step in the manufacture of card wire, from the steel billet to the rod, is carried out while the metal is red hot. Here, the billets are put into special heating furnaces, and while great care must be taken not to scorch or damage the surface, the steel must be thoroughly soaked, as it were, in the heat. After about 2.5 hours of this, the red-hot billet is taken on an overhead runway into the rolling mill. It starts fairly slowly through the first pair of rollers, and as you will see, the speed is gradually raised until the rod leaves the last pair of rollers at something over 20 miles an hour. I might tell you here that the billet was originally 4 feet long and 4 inches square, and after going through the cogging rollers, it is transformed into a coil about 300 yards long and 3/16 of an inch in diameter. This little job takes less than 2 minutes. The rod actually has been passed about 20 times through various sizes of rollers. This hot rolling process is highly spectacular, and speaking for myself, I'd much rather watch it than have to do it. There isn't much time available because from the moment of leaving the furnace, the steel is of course losing heat, and it has to go through all these different rollers and be coiled up while it is still red hot. So it is obvious that the men dealing with it have to be very much on their toes to prevent any delay which might damage the rod. These men are highly skilled and experienced at their job. They are dealing not only with red-hot material, but with one traveling backwards and forwards at ever-increasing speed. They catch with a pair of tongs the end of the red-hot rod as it leaves the rollers and insert this end in the next set of rollers. The grooves in each set of rollers are of smaller section than the last. The man with the tongs has to be very careful not to fumble his catch. Well, Yorkshiremen don't, but they are all constantly on the watch to guide the red-hot rod to safety if any mishap should occur. The red-hot rods are allowed to cool down gradually. This man must of course wait until the rod is quite cold before he can cut off a short length from each end of the coil, so that the structure of the steel may be examined for soundness. We have been dealing all this time with red-hot steel, and have now got to the point where the diameter of the rod cannot be reduced any further by the method of hot rolling. So we must now take you over to our wire drawing sheds, where the wire is drawn to the exact size or gauge required. These rods have safely passed their tests and are now ready for this operation.